Alright, what is up guys, N84 here and welcome back to yet another movie review, and today we're going to be talking about Scream. Yeah, Scream. Not Scream 5, just Scream. That's just the name of the movie. I would have preferred it to be called Scream 5, but it's alright. Lots of movies do that nowadays. We're just going to call it Scream 5, Scream 2022. Alright, we get it. And I am aware I have not uploaded probably, I don't know, maybe a month or so, and I apologize, it wasn't my fault. Your boy's been going through it, okay? Your boy has been going through it, and it's not a good time for me, okay? But I missed you guys, and I missed uploading for all of you, and hopefully things get better, but man, it's not really the time for me to talk about me and my situations. That's not really relevant as of right now. I just figured I'd let you all know. It's not that I was lazy, or it's not because I ran out of ideas. It's just like a family issue and stuff like that. So let's just say my luck hasn't exactly been the greatest as of late. But as of right now, we're just going to talk about the movie, okay? The good, the bad. We're going to be talking about it, okay? Because this movie, it's something, okay? It's something. Was it a good time at the movies? Was it the best freaking Scream movie? I don't know. Is it going to be movie of the year? I don't know, man, but we're going to talk about it, alright? Starting right now. Okay, so this is kind of crazy, okay, because this is technically my first upload of the year, and this is not my recording space at all, so for you guys, it's just typically how it is, but for me, this is insane. But you guys want to hear about the movie, okay? You guys want to know my thoughts about it. You guys want to know if it's worth seeing. And let me just tell you, it is, okay? If you're a fan of the Scream franchise, or if you're just a fan of scary movies in general, you should definitely check this one out, man. It's a good time. It has everything it should, you know, the typical Scream meta, you know, fan service. It has the typical Ghostface in it, and it's just a good time, okay? It's a lot better than Halloween Kills. For those of you who don't know, I did a movie review about that one a few months ago, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that movie, honestly. It wasn't terrible, but it left a lot to be desired. But this movie, it left me satisfied, okay? I cheered, I cried, I wasn't really scared, I ain't gonna lie. This movie wasn't really scary. Maybe it's because I've seen so many scary movies to the point where nothing really scares me that much anymore. But yeah, it's a good time, man. Your fan favorites, they're in this movie, man. You got Sydney, Gail, and Dewey, they're back, you know, the veterans, okay? You love to see them. But I was a little skeptical about this movie at first because it was kind of mixed, because it was kind of like, okay, you have your young cast and then you have your older cast. So it was kind of like, is this for the older audience, or is this for like the teenage audience, like the, you know, young adults? And it's for both. There's a little bit of everything for everyone, okay? So if you're a fan of the classic Scream movies, they have like good little callbacks and Easter eggs about the past movies. So all of those are canon. That's part of the reason I wasn't too fond of them just calling the movie Scream, because it's not really a remake or a reboot. Everything that happened in the past 4 movies are canon, that did happen. And yeah, it has some young stars in this that you will know. Jenna Ortega, she's always good. Huge fan of hers. And it was the one guy from 13 Reasons Why. You know his name. I don't know his name, but you know his name. The guy who played Clay, I forgot his name, unfortunately. No disrespect to him. It's not that I'm not a fan or that I don't like him. I'm just drawing a blank, okay? But yeah, the movie, it's good, man. It's solid. I don't know, it doesn't feel as long as it is. There's a few slow parts in the movie that kind of like turn it off for me personally. I actually stayed awake through this movie. I've been having this problem where I just fall asleep in movies and I don't get to finish them completely. Then I have to wait for them to come out on like a streaming service and everything. But this movie kept me awake, so the fact that it did lets me know that it's a good movie. Now, I do think that this movie, it's gonna do well financially just for what it is, just because we are still in a pandemic, so I don't expect it to like break records or anything like that, unfortunately. Plus, it's a January release, and typically whenever movies release in January, they don't really do that well. The only actual exception for that would probably be Bad Boys for Life, because that movie came out in January, and then, you know, lockdown happened, so that was the biggest movie of the year, surprisingly. But I don't think that Scream is going to have that same success, unfortunately, unless there is another lockdown. just because Spider-Man: No Way Home is still bringing in money, and with all the other superhero movies coming out this year, I just don't see Scream topping those, unfortunately. And uh, you know, the superhero movies that came out like in recent months and everything, they've been pretty successful. So I don't really see this movie really topping those. I see it doing something, okay? Because Halloween Kills even did, pretty well at the box office. So Scream, we have to keep this movie going. I mean, not going, but the franchise going and everything. Because the Scream franchise is probably my personal favorite one. I'm not too sure why. It's not the goriest, it's not the scariest or anything like that, man. But you just have these lovable characters, man. It's these just iconic moments and everything. And I almost called him Scream Face. Ghostface. He's not like the flashiest killing, the most creative or anything, but it's just so meta and so freaking realistic that it's so lovable. But, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, this movie isn't exactly perfect. I had like a few problems with it, nothing too significant though. I wasn't too, you know, I wasn't too happy about the choice of killers in this movie. I don't know, that just didn't really do it for me personally. That is the problem with the Scream movies. The killers are going to be hit or miss for you, honestly. There's not going to be any, it's just going to be like, that's a good killer, that was a good reveal, or it's just going to be like, yeah, this killer just doesn't really do it for me. And part of the reason for that is because, the leaks and stuff like that, so they have to rearrange the scripts and everything. I know that was like a huge problem with Scream 2 and 3, where like the scripts kept getting leaked and everything, so they had to like rearrange everything, switch up the killers. And I get it, but sometimes, man, it just doesn't really work out that well. And honestly, till this day, I still have to say that Billy and Stu from the original first movie are still the best killers. I don't think that they're gonna be topped. Even in the Scream TV series, I still don't think that any of the killer reveals have been as iconic and as memorable as the very first one, the original. So, the killers in this one, they weren't necessarily bad, but they could have been better, if that makes sense. They, like I said, like I didn't hate them or anything. Not as bad as like Charlie from Scream 4. I wasn't really a fan of him. And what was his name? Mickey from Scream 2. He was just kind of there. He had like an interesting motive, kinda, so that makes him somewhat unique. And Roman from Scream 3. I give him points just because he was the only one to do it solo. So he didn't have an accomplice or anything. He didn't have like a partner to help him. He did it all by himself. So he gets points. Okay, so we are about to get into spoiler territory. I probably already spoiled some things. I don't know. I'm too tired. But for those of you who don't know, this movie does do like a trend of the new generation are somehow connected to like the past people from the past movies, like Randy and Billy and all of these characters and stuff like that. So it's interesting, and usually I don't like when they give kids the torch and everything like that, because kids are somewhat annoying. That was my problem with Deadpool 2, but they were okay in this movie. They didn't really bother me, and we have to start getting used to that, because kid actors are starting to take over. With Cobra Kai and the Ghostbusters even and stuff like that. So we have to just kind of get into these things, and I know a lot of people were a little mad at Ghostbusters because they felt like there was too many cheap callbacks and references and stuff like that, but pretty much everything does that now, you guys. So if you watch Cobra Kai, you're gonna get that. If you watch the Marvel movies or TV shows, you're gonna get that. If you watch what else am I thinking of? This movie even, I guess. So there's lots of references and callbacks and stuff like that. Oh my god, okay, before I get out of here, there's one thing I have to say. I love that they did the cameos for Dawson's Creek and James A. Janice for Dead Meat, for James and Chelsea. That was amazing. It brought like a huge smile to my face. I loved it. Thank you, Scream, for that. But this movie was a good time, man. It wasn't perfect, but it's a good time. I like Scream, and this is a welcome addition. So this movie's gonna get like an 8 out of 10 for me, man. But definitely go check it out, man. But I'm in A4 and I'm out. Peace.